Welcome to the Salty Strikes fishing channel, and today we're off the water and in here doing a review of the Florida Fishing Products Osprey 4000 Saltwater series, and we're going to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly, so stay tuned and find out. Alright, we're going to start by going over some specs of the Osprey 4000. It can hold 250 yards at 20-pound braid. It's weighing in at about 11.7 ounces. It's full metal body and metal handle. That's about average for this size. The bearing count on this is a 7+1. That means 7 ball bearings and 1 roller bearing. So that's about normal for this size. There's other ones that have less in the same price range, and there's ones that are really cheap that have a lot more. So ball bearing count doesn't always necessarily mean smoother or better. Okay, now we're going to do a little comparison of something similar price range. This is the Spin Fisher 4500, Spin Fisher 5 4500, and they're both about $170 retail. Well, they're not making really this one anymore. Now it's the 6. But when this was brand new, it was about the same price. The weight is a little bit different. This is only 11.7 ounces. This is 15.3, I think. And so there's a couple ounce difference there. But they're very similar in size. This one's just a little bit bigger, hold a little bit more line. But they're both full metal body. And you can definitely tell that this one's a little stouter than this one. But this one weighs less, so it's a balance of what you're looking for in a reel. A little less weight, but this might be a little sturdier. But I feel really confident with this one to run the boat and stuff, kicking it around, or not that you would kick it around, but like if you accidentally drop it or knock it up against something, I don't feel like this is going to break. It's pretty sturdy. You can see that there's quite a different size in the bails. This one's much larger than this one, but this has been knocked around quite a bit and still in good shape, and the bail trips just like it's supposed to. I love it. It's both got a good feel to them. Another difference between the two is they both say they're sealed. This one comes with an IPX rating, this one does not, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. So there's a comparison. I think I've been using both these for a while. This for 10 months. This is for, I've had this one probably for almost a year and a half or maybe more. But they both crank smoothly, drag smooth. I really couldn't tell a huge difference, other than you can definitely tell this weighs more. So at that price range, it gives you a little bit of comparison there. So if you have any more questions about that, about maybe between the difference between the two or anything else, just leave a comment below. All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about some personal experiences I've had with this thing and the company. When I first bought this, I went to go spool it, and it started laying a little heavy on the back, and I'll show you here in the corner what that looked like. And I was like, what the heck is going on? So I contacted Florida Fishing Products, and they were like, maybe there's they responded fairly quickly, and maybe a shim was messed up or something. I took the spool off and looked at it and everything, and nothing seemed off. I put it back on, cranked this back down, and started to re-spool again, and it laid fine. So it just might have been a fluke, when they putting it together in the factory or whatever. So I'll give them that. It just left a bit bad taste in my mouth right off the bat that there was something wrong. But it turned out fine. It lays really nice and even. So, and when you're casting, it never really seems to have any problems. So I have to say, that was just a minor thing, but I haven't had issue with that since. And I've re-spooled line on here several times, and it lays right every single time. All right, now we're going to get back to how sealed it is. And the real answer is I can't tell you, because Florida Fishing Products won't either. They say they have an eco-sealed system, and I think it's just like, that's just a buzzword, just like F-150s, they have their EcoBoost engines, which is just a turbocharged. It just makes it sound more environment friendly or something. I don't know, but anyway, they say it's sealed. They were touting on Instagram that it was comparable to the Pin Slammer 3, and the Pin Slammer 3, as everybody knows, does have an IPX rating, and this does not. They even said so in the Instagram conversation I had with them. You'll see right here, and it was just kind of confusing that they would make a claim like that without having something to back it up.
Hey, I tell you what, you can take a good look at a butcher's by sticking your head up there, but wouldn't you rather take his word for it? What?
So then I kind of replied, well, could you dunk it underwater? Would it be okay? And they started coming up with another reply. Well, like, if you dunked it, even if you dunk this or Van Stall underwater, you should have it serviced.
No, I mean, you can get a good look at a T-bone by sticking your head up a butcher's, but then, no, it's got to be your bull. Wow.
And I don't know if Van Stall actually says that or not, if you dunk theirs underwater, if they recommend you have to have it serviced, but why would you be speaking for another company like that? So they say it's sealed. Is it sealed? I couldn't tell you. I haven't taken it apart. I haven't put it underwater. It does get rinsed off with fresh water after every use. So, but I've had it for 10 months, still running butter smooth. So you got that. Another negative experience I had with this reel was, but I'll preface it with this: it did have a good outcome. So we'll get into it. When I was fishing with this thing, it'd probably been about 6 months. I was pulling in some small jacks, not real big, not drag pullers, and I had this down tight enough where it was a couple pounds. Where like if you get a small fish on it, it shouldn't be pulling any drag at all. And then all of a sudden, I started getting these drag pulls. Not really pull, but like I was cranking it in, and you could hear the drag system. And it just was off-putting, and I was like, well, what the heck is going on? And so I started questioning and thinking. So I reached out to the company, and well, let me just take a step back real quick. Well, when I realized that it was pulling drag, I cranked down on just a little bit, and then it just basically locked. There was no drag at all, and then I just cranked back a little bit, and then it was like free spool almost. You didn't even have to turn it back that far. So that was a little off. And then I got, reach out to the company, and they're like, well, we think we know what the problem is. And they sent me a new cap, and they thought maybe the spring was going out in here. So I put that on. Well, also they're like, well, we'll send you this thing, and if that doesn't solve it, we'll send you a shipping label, and you can return it, the whole thing, and we'll look over it and fix it and send it back to you. And so I put this cap on, tried it, and that didn't fix the problem. So I boxed this back up and sent it off, and within 7 days, they sent this back with the old spool, and they put a whole new spool on here for free, no charge. And like I said, the turnaround was less than 7 days from the time I shipped it off to them, and it was back to me. So it was good turnaround time. They didn't charge me. It fixed the problem. Now the drag's working like it should. So I have to give them kudos, 2 thumbs up for customer service. You really don't want to have to deal with these problems to begin with, but if you do, the customer service is really important to me. So you want to know a company's going to take care of you, and they did, and that's a big thing. So I also like the fact that Florida Fishing Products is a local company. I like to support local companies, and they do give back 3% towards conservation efforts. So that's a bonus. I'm not exactly sure which ones the money goes to, but they do advertise it, so I just thought I would put that out there. In conclusion, it's a pretty good reel. I think it's just a little bit overpriced. For the money, you could probably go get a Daiwa BG or Pin Battle. It's about $50, $60 cheaper, and you're probably getting about the same kind of quality. It seems like full metal, everything, carbon drag, those two don't have just as much drag, but with a few pounds of drag, is that worth $50, $60? So anyway, if the price point was a little cheaper, I would definitely probably buy more of these. The new one with the power handle, that was jumping up to like $200. So, it's getting even a little more pricey. Anyway, if you have any more questions I didn't cover in this, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them. It's held up, it's still smooth, it still cranks well. This is 10 months, and if you watch our channel, we fish a lot, and this gets used every weekend, sometimes twice a week. So, hopefully this will help you make a better decision if you were looking to get one, or maybe if you might decide not to, but that's up to you. I'm going to keep using this. I like it, and hopefully it keeps holding up, and maybe another year from now I'll give another review. So if you like what you heard and want to see more, subscribe to our channel. The thumbs up always helps, and we'll see you next time on the water.